Well, next, Laura Faber has an unusual story about a bona fide grave walker by the name of Linda Mora. As you'll see, she has a passion for genealogy and helping people connect the dots of their past.
If you are ever traveling with Franklin resident Linda Mora, chances are you'll visit a cemetery.
When we're traveling, if we're going down the road and I see a cemetery, stop, we've got to go in there.
Linda comes from a military family dating back to the American Revolutionary War. Her great-great-grandfather fought in the Civil War, her father in World War II, and then her husband. It's her own history and other stories buried inside old cemeteries that are too interesting for her to pass by.
I've been in genealogy for about 35 years, and I've always been interested in that. And I realized that there was one of my aunts that I did not have a picture of her grave marker. And so I thought, oh gosh, I can maybe put an ad in the paper in the town where she's buried in Texas, and maybe someone will go out and take a picture for me. And that's where it all started.
Linda eventually discovered the website called Find a Grave. It holds the world's largest grave site collection, an international index of burial records, millions of them. Linda is a certified volunteer and has documented more than 23,000 graves for the site.
I've been a registered volunteer for 8.5 years, and I've done about 58,000 photographs that I can post on Find a Grave.
You can find birth dates, death dates, burial information, photos, family backgrounds, all thanks to grave walkers like Linda.
It's a great hobby. It's just so nice to be out in the environment, you know, and I meet a lot of nice people. Keeps me off the streets and out of the shopping malls.
When she goes into a cemetery, she immediately starts taking pictures of every grave marker she can. Then it's back to the computer and find a grave. If there is no record of that person, Linda creates one. Linda also uses information from local historians and spends hours inside the Williamson County archives. This is like Google before Google.
It really is. So there's a lot you can find online, but there's also a lot that's not online, and that is something that people kind of forget.
Bradley Boshears is the director of the Williamson County Archives and says you can find about anything here.
Here at Williamson County Archives, we collect, preserve, and provide access to county records with administrative and historical value. So when we have a researcher like Linda come in, we've got a number of different things that we can kind of point her to get some additional information if she's looking at an individual or looking at a family. Court records, marriage certificates, and wills that are really useful if you're doing any kind of historical or genealogical research. So those primary sources have a lot of family information, so it's a good way you can build out a family tree or get a little additional context to go with maybe a grave marker that you've come across. We also have the Williamson County Burials book, which was put together by the Williamson County Historical Society. It's an invaluable resource that we have. They've got so much information there, information that you may not be able to find simply from markers that have faded over time since it was collected or been lost or destroyed in some way.
Linda has some favorite grave markers like this one in Franklin City Cemetery. Senior Colonel Guilford Dudley is one of 4 Revolutionary soldiers buried here. And there are unique headstones too. Is this actually a tree stump?
No, I don't think it is, but the significance, I think, on a lot of markers that I've seen that were tree stumps, they would say that the person's life was cut short.
In Rest Haven, it's the Unknown Civil War Soldier Memorial, erected for a soldier whose remains, buttons, and a bullet were found in 2009 during construction of a Chick-fil-A.
The coins on the military markers mean different things. But now here, a lot of times I've also heard that it helps pay your way to heaven.
Linda loves genealogy, but another perk of what she does is all the history she gets to learn with every cemetery that she visits. For instance, here, the McEwen family is buried, very famous family in Williamson County. And Captain Todd Carter, here, of the Carter family, another famous family here in this county. He was a Confederate Army captain, was wounded in the Civil War, died in his own bed at the Carter house, but this is where he'll rest for eternity, at Rest Haven. At the Mount Hope Cemetery, one of the most famous graves is that of Sarah Cannon, also known as Minnie Pearl. Linda says it's a fulfilling pastime and loves when her clues give people closure about their past.
I hadn't even noticed it, tell you the truth, when I set it up. But then, a couple of months later, I get a message and it says, oh my gosh, you have found my grandmother's baby sister. We have been looking for this grave and never been able to find it. But the grandmother had come through Tennessee with her family when she was a very small child, and this baby sister had passed away. And so they had buried her in this little cemetery. And it just so happens I was able to capture that marker. And that's one of my favorite ones, I gotta say.
Preserving history and creating a virtual family tree for strangers Linda may never meet. For this grave walker, it's so much more than just a name carved in stone.